Welcome to the Commission Mission, where we fuel your passion for greatness in entrepreneurship, sales, business, and life. Success demands you become smarter, quicker, and wiser than those competing for your opportunities. It's time to break free from the chains of your comfort zone and embrace uncertainty. We weren't designed for safety, we were built for growth. Teddy Roosevelt tells us the credit belongs to who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid hearts who knew neither victory nor defeat.
All right now, Micah Henderson, this is Eric Gerace, Highland Finance. Oh, you know what? I'm breaking into work me.
This is the one you started over with what were the commission mission, right?
Yeah, I know.
Take two.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. My name is Micah Henderson.
I'm Eric Gerace.
Thank you for joining us to the Commission Mission. Today we're joined with Rob and Tim with Impact Promotions. Guys, thanks for joining us. Impact Fitness, Impact Promotions, really, all the great fight events that I've enjoyed. From what I could tell, really, you're a serial entrepreneur. And that's what I want to talk to you today about. Before we start getting into business, though, can you tell me a little bit of a background of where you're coming from and how you ended up here?
Originally grew up in Massachusetts and moved down here in 2008 at 24 years old. Then kind of got into the business stuff here, do general contracting as well. So started with construction and then got into the gym business, and that led also into the promotions and the MMA events.
Okay. And Tim, where did you come on the team?
Rob and I have been friends 30 years. So we grew up together in Massachusetts, a small town outside of Boston called Palmer. I came down a couple of years before they did to Panama City. I have a large family base down here.
Yeah.
So we came down to visit and of course stayed. Never going back to the snow. And I've been here 20 years myself.
Good place to visit. Rob, is Tim the reason why you ended up settling in
It is.
Panama City?
Yeah, he came down here a couple of years before us. He was in Orlando and then came over to Panama City. And I actually moved down here with two other friends in 2008. We got a apartment or a house together, and let's just say we were younger then, and spring break was appealing. Mm-hmm. So that was some fun times, but then we all had to grow up.
Yeah.
And part of the business is growing up. So
yeah, I mean, great to have a good team behind you, folks that you can trust, that you know have your back. So take me through the whole process, the whole thought process of recognizing opportunities, and even if they may be outside of the box opportunities.
So in particular in the events, the MMA events, yeah. I had an Anytime Fitness from 2008 to 2013. Inside of there we had an MMA program in the back. Mm-hmm. We transitioned to Impact Fitness in 2013, got a bigger building, defranchised, mm-hmm. and then basically in that process we got the events going. So the real opportunity came through the MMA program at the gym, mm-hmm. seeing the fighters, seeing them train, and then the promotional idea came from that. So one business actually led into the other.
Yeah.
So. That's like a thing that we were even talking about at our house, when you are trying to build a team, you're trying to recruit people or train new employees or whatever it is, you put your time where it's deserved, not where it's needed all the time, And but to recognize the people, like I'm sure you saw the fighters and all the effort and the training that they're putting in, passionate about something that they love and wanted to build. It makes every sense in the world if you have the ability and the knowledge on how to put an event like that together, put something together where you can
take it to the next step.
Take it to the next step. That's
definitely
ideal. Yeah, and it's based around the people.
So talking about taking it to the next step, the next logical progression of business. Was there ever a point of do or die, now or never, a point of no return where you decided, you know what, I'm going for it?
I don't know if there was a point of no return, but there was a time when it made sense. Mm-hmm. So you start doing it, you take test runs. We all take risks. So we take risks, we go through it, we see the ins and the outs, we see the ups and the downs, but then there's a time when you see it start to click. And people, you brought up people earlier. Sometimes it's not just the idea or the ideology of the business. Sometimes it is the people, and you're investing in people too, like the fighters. So when you see fighters that could help to build a promotion, you take a risk on those fighters. Then you take the risk of an event, and it takes place, and you see how you can do it better, and you develop it. And I'd say probably maybe 5 shows in was a time where we're like, yeah, this can grow.
Yeah.
This could actually be successful and keep going to a bigger level.
So with all the business sense and logic you can have, at some point when you decide to invest your time and your energy, put your soul into something, you have to follow your gut. You have to follow your instinct. And from what I've seen in my own experience in business, that's pretty important. I mean, it steers you to do one action or spend your time somewhere rather than another. What would you have to say on, as an entrepreneur, following your instinct?
So I agree there's an opportunity cost in everything. And successful people know that, because time is money, and your time is more valuable than money because you can't get time back. So I would say somewhere in the process leading into that 5th event and watching, I use that as a tipping point, because that's when we saw it grow. We saw it grow, we saw that it had potential and it could get even bigger. So through that's when we decided to take the bigger risk, invest more time. Construction's always been easy for me. It's a great way to make money, especially in this market. So to give that up was a big risk. And now in these stages of the company where we're at now, we are investing more time. And we're 6 years in. So we've had a hurricane, we've had COVID, we've had a lot of different things happen in those 6 years of the life of this company. So giving up that guaranteed income, because you have to take a risk on every event.
That's right.
And you have a lot of moving parts. Tim, the announcer, we've got about 120 moving parts on every single event. That's risky too.
Yeah.
One goes wrong, it could throw the whole show off.
Cascade of.
Yeah. So there's big
I
risk.
think an important thing, and something that I noticed from the sidelines and watching Rob over the last 10 years or so of doing this business, is that, well, multiple businesses, he's been very successful in everything that he's done, is that, he doesn't just jump in, like you said. He plans to commit. And when he does, he educates himself fully on whatever it is that he's committing to, whether it's a cleaning business or a martial arts company or a promotions company or a gym. He's going to educate himself and make sure that whatever he's diving into, he's going to be the best of it.
And that was
that's what's different about him.
That was a point I was picking up with. He was saying without him saying it.
Absolutely.
Was, and a lot of people that are struggling or are new to entrepreneurship and starting their business, what their biggest mistake I think is a rush. They're just they're
maybe excited.
Results. You said 5 events. It took you 5 events before you were like, hey, this might even work. So look at that.
How long of time was it over those 5 events? That's 2 years.
Well, I asked for a single moment for a tipping point, and you're like, I don't have an answer like that. No, there's a whole process behind it.
And it's just believing in yourself.
And slowing down. Remember, just reminding yourself to slow down, to take it, and not to let, a lot of times, emotion leads us in business decisions, and I think that's another mistake that people make too along the way is forgetting that, take that deep breath, slow down, take back, and evaluate, because numbers don't lie.
That everything you did wasn't perfect. You made mistakes. Now grow.
That's huge for anybody successful, I think, because if ego overpowers those evaluations, mistakes are made, and we're all constantly learning. I think the most successful people still learn daily. And if you read a lot of motivational books and things like that, they say that. They study their craft and they learn daily. They're not perfect. So throughout the process, you're going to improve. And if you can do that and take the time and the effort to do it, I think a lot of people could be successful, but not a lot of people are willing to put in that work.
So while we're talking about mistakes and it's more of a misstep than a failure, what are some mistakes that you've made along the way that maybe that changed your decision making moving forward that you learned from?
So in particular with the MMA company, building a brand is very valuable. Instead of basing it around, say, a specific athlete, Athletes come and go. But if you build a brand and you build a team of people, so we learned that throughout those first 5 events, to not build it around the Conor McGregor. The UFC isn't built around Conor McGregor. He helped. But the UFC is built around what Dana White built. So it's different to build the brand than to highlight a specific person. And that's one of the things that we learned throughout those first 5 events, is to build a brand, build a team, build people that you can trust that contribute to the goal. And I'd say that's probably the biggest mistake that we made in the beginning, was just thinking, I'm going to put fighters out there and people are just going to come watch them.
Yeah.
But we build a brand, we build a community, we build a fellowship. So a lot of people want to come see the event, whether there's midget wrestling going on in there or there's MMA going on in there.
So you're telling me there may be midget wrestling in
Maybe, who knows?
All right, let me know.
But even on Shark Tank, you'll hear him say, "You have a product, not a business."
Yep.
You know, and so you don't want people making mistakes of putting the cart before the horse. You know, of all their eggs in that one basket of, hey, I'm going to build my foundation on someone else, or my business on someone else's foundation, is basically what you're doing in that case. So to see that, live examples of that and reminders of that on a daily basis is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, and perfect segue from talking about developing your brand and talking about developing a vision of, down the road where you want your business to be. So once you have that vision in mind, how do you get to build that team of all-stars that you can trust, that have your back through thick and thin? How do you get other people on board with your vision?
Well, I think some of it came naturally with the people that were already around me in my community, because we had prior businesses, friendships, relationships. So some of the pieces did fall in place from prior relationships. And they fit. Tim, you're Tim for 30 years. We've been doing this for 6. So he fell into place as the announcer. Some of it is trial and error. You're going to have to go through hard times, good times, figure out what works, what doesn't. We've built a pretty good core team here between JD is my matchmaker, my graphic design guy, Tim's my announcer, Michelle takes care of the staffing. So we've got a good core group of people, and there's a lot of interchangeable parts that are going to come and go, but
And
if you have
they
that
weren't
core...
all the first people that you thought were going to be the superstars in the very beginning, right? It's not all the same people, probably. Most likely. That's just my guess.
JD wasn't the original matchmaker. He came in a few events in. Tim wasn't the original announcer. He came in a few events in. Michelle was there since day one as the staffing. But I will say character says a lot. Because just because somebody can do the job doesn't mean they're going to do the job well and in the vision of your company. And that's big with me, is we have mottos. #Impact Way.
Because one of the things I just noticed just walking into this place, and some companies it's really evident, some it's not, but here it's obvious, is corporate culture. And it comes from the top down. Success leaves clues, so you're teaching and training the people around you how to be successful. And it's obvious when you walk in the building and see it's set up and everybody's boom, boom, boom going and knowing their things, and knowing what they're doing, and because it's a machine that's working here. It's not your event. It's not, you're not doing
There's
this.
no one-man band in business.
It wouldn't be achievable alone.
Right.
You'd have to have a team to do something like this. And where we're going in the future, it takes an even bigger team. So we're going to keep growing it. But I think I go back to character. Somebody can do the job, but other people will do the job in your vision. And they relate to you in the way that you operate.
Yeah.
And that's where I think building the team and being successful in that team comes from.
So moving the kind of the ball down the field. Now that you've got your organization, you have your team going. Tell me how leadership has helped or hurt you in your organization. Are you a natural leader, or is this something that had to be developed? Do you use your leadership to help develop your team?
I believe it's both. Certain things come naturally, and other things, earlier where we talked about recognizing you can make mistakes and learning from them.
Yeah.
Leadership, in my opinion, doesn't just come from the top down. I learn from them as well. I make mistakes. They catch me in my mistakes. They help me to be better. So that's where the character comes in, and having a good team there. Of course, at the end of the day, somebody has to be the face of the company. Somebody has to be at the top, is responsible for everything. But when you build a team, I think that they help you bear that burden. And I think the leadership aspect comes in place of learning together.
Yeah.
And best leaders don't just lead, they lead other people to be better too.
Yeah.
The best leaders know how to take a step back.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm not getting in there and announcing. I know what I want it to sound like, and I know what our company wants to represent and the way that we want the events to run, but somebody has to portray that. And that won't be me, because I'm not getting in the center of that cage and doing it, but Tim will. So. Before we move on, when it came to getting Rob to get you on board, it didn't seem like it was very tough to get you synced up with his vision and his leadership to get on board with Impact.
No, like you said, and naturally some people have a leadership quality about them, and he's always had it. He was my point guard in elementary school, middle school, going into high school, because he's a natural leader. He leads on the court, he leads with his family, he leads in life.
Yeah.
It's just how he is. And, when I had the opportunity to step in and follow in his footsteps and try to become a portion of the company, I knew that, coming from what I did, where I just worked on a microphone in a kitchen, that I could do it. I can stand in front of a microphone for 8 hours and just talk. That's not a problem. And I can be clear, and that's really what you need. And so when I offered to do it, the good thing about him is he's very receptive. He's willing to try with people. What, did he know that I could do it? No. But did he know that he's willing and I'm willing to give it a chance? Absolutely. Why not try? If it can better him or the company, that's all that anybody really cares about.
Yeah,
So
those
we took
results.
a chance, and I think we've had relatively good results. We've had a good response from the crowd, and haven't had a need to change yet. So
That's right.
good.
That's right. So you brought up a personality trait when it came to character, right? Just expanding on personality traits, what personality trait do you think is important for the entrepreneur, the business owner? But then what personality traits are also important that you look for people working with you?
Let's say in a business owner, you have to be diligent and willing to work. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in.
Yeah.
I think that you have to take it seriously. You have to be willing to put in the work and be diligent. In the form of people that you recruit through leadership, I'm still going to character, because if they don't portray your vision correctly, then they can do a great job. Tim might hit every single announcement, might say their names and pronunciate them perfectly, but the vibe that he brings in the room portrays the vibe of the company.
Energy,
And we're big on family, so it's like Impact is a family, it's a vibe. The way that we operate carries that message. We want you to come here and have a great time. You may not even like fights.
Dirty jokes probably isn't
That's not the vision.
out there.
Well, I mean, MMA's got its own vibe too, and it's got an atmosphere.
Yeah.
But family can mean many things to many different people, but it's a good vibe.
Yeah.
And if you do it that way, you may have somebody who loves MMA, construction world, construction owners, guys that work in construction, they want to come watch fights. But what about their wives?
Yeah.
They might not want to. But we create a vibe in the room that makes them feel comfortable. They get to dress up. They get to come out, take pictures, listen to music. We create a vibe that appeals to more people that way. And I think in doing that, that's allowed us to be more successful. Mm-hmm. So the vibe, the family. But as far as an owner, I'd say diligence, because it's never going to be easy. Mm-mm. If you're actually going to do and achieve great things, it's never going to be easy.
So when it comes to diligence, when it comes to nothing's ever going to be easy, because business has ups and has downs. In the downs, where do you find inspiration? Where do you get back on track when things aren't going the best?
I've got two answers. I've got a real one and I've got a politically real one.
Okay.
Sometimes proving people wrong can be a motivation. Yeah. And that can help in ways, but also faith. Mm. So through the hard times, you don't want to see people you don't want people to see you fail. So you get energy and motivation from that, and you push through. Mm. But also, you can't do it alone, or else you'll go insane. Yeah. Trying to do it by yourself is too hard, and especially if you're going to achieve truly great things. But you have to have faith, and faith in God, faith in the people that you're working with. Mm-hmm. So I think that's important as well.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. So when it comes to the business owner, when it comes to, where the buck stops on, when a lot of pretty much all the big decisions end with, where should your mindset be? Where should your perspective be? And how to get the results that you want to get?
I'm gonna go with integrity for that one. Your mindset should always be with integrity.
That's a good word.
Things may go wrong, things will go wrong. But I had a phrase in contracting. If a contractor tells you your house build went perfect, he's lying to you. But a good contractor fixes the mistakes. Because there's gonna be mistakes along the way. But if you have integrity and you do things the right way throughout time and perseverance, it's going to work out. And it may not work out today or tomorrow or when you want it to, but it will in God's time. And if you keep doing that, you keep your integrity, then I think that you'll be successful.
Yeah.
I took a world leadership class, and integrity was one of the top principles that they stress. And it's like, because not only is it important when in just doing what you say you're going to do, but if for some reason something, life happens and you don't, keeping that relationship and building those relationships with either with clients or employees or whoever it may be is saying, hey, this happened, and standing in integrity and coming into a solution with that person instead of hiding and running and covering or trying to lie or, hey, we're not going to let them know yet, kind of thing. Really, because now business, it's all about relationships, right? So integrity, faith, these are things that you would hear in business described, 20, 30 years ago, but to hear these as cores now, it's real important for people that are especially starting out, hear these things,
Definitely.
Success leaves clues.
And you didn't even have to take a world leadership course to figure that out. It's experience.
It's life.
So,
That's for sure.
So, and kind of wrapping up this conversation, I like to always ask folks, if you had known back then what you know now, that it would all end up like this, sitting here, what would you have done differently? And you can't say nothing. You gotta say something.
I'm going to go back to time, wasted time. If you could get time back and use that time more usefully, then that would be something I'd do differently. But everything that has happened gets us here.
Yeah.
So I believe everything happens for a reason, and it's all part of the plan. But if I could go back, probably buy Bitcoin when it was cheaper. A few different things that might make life a little easier financially. But time, use the time more usefully.
Yeah.
It's the most valuable resource that nobody appreciates.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the goal is, and Eric, you say this a lot. You can learn from mistakes, but you don't have to learn from your own mistakes. You can learn from someone else's mistakes. So I like to ask, hey, what mistake did you learn from? So somebody else can, as soon as they meet that mistake, like, whoa, wait a second, I don't have to learn this the hard way. I watched Rob's episode of Commission Mission. I'm going to go about this differently.
Trust but verify.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Don't lose faith. Keep your optimism because that's important. But verify. Blind faith can be a mistake. But trust but verify because, the world's full of good and bad people.
Yeah.
So you filter through them and you trust and verify. And then I think that will lead to success because we all hit mistakes. It's just how you respond to them.
Yeah.
So.
No, that is a great couple sentences for that next entrepreneur coming up, wanting to go for it, wanting to accomplish their dreams. No, that's good. So, we've talked about some big words, big concepts, character and diligence and vision, integrity, and the idea of it's not always one moment in time that you decide to do or die, make the jump from 9 to 5 to running your own business. Most of the time it should be a whole well-verified process.
A whole business plan.
A whole business plan before you decide to do that, or you might be wasting some time.
True.
So what's next for you, for Impact?
Growth. I believe we've got a great thing. The foundation. We spoke about the foundation earlier. The foundation is there. We've got a good group of people. We've got a good team. We've got a good home base here in Panama City. or Panama City Beach, but we want to expand. And part of that growth is expanding the team and expanding the region. So hopefully we're in 5 states. We'll be in Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, and hopefully Phoenix, or Arizona. And in the near future, hopefully that expansion shows what we built here on a larger scale, but hopefully not losing that family feel.
Yeah.
Not to lose your company vision in the growth process. So,
Well, where can people find you?
obviously Facebook and the social media platforms are very popular. We put a lot of our content on there. We have a webpage, and
And we could put those links on our website with the episode and everything.
definitely, that'd be awesome. So social media is going to be the easiest way. The webpage, come out here. We're in the community, so we have a lot of community involvement. So you'll see us at other events as well.
Awesome. Well, anybody looking to get in touch with Robert Moriarty, Impact Promotions, check out the website. We'll have all the links you need. Rob, Tim, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
That's it.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. Oh, yeah.
Cut. We need the cues.
Was the camera on?